अरिहंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तीन को स्वरूप जानी राग ते भई जो भक्ति काय को नमाए स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुमी से काज सब आज भयो कर चोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। So yesterday we were studying about merits and demerits, virtues and sins, punya or pap. And there was one point of discussion that both punya and pap, merits and demerits, virtues and sins are equal as far as the path of liberation is concerned. Why they are equal? Because both binds new karmas. Okay. So the one which binds new karmas, how it can be helpful in the path of liberation. So we had seen the references of around different texts from different writers. So first we saw is Pandit Daulat Ramji from Chedala. Then we saw Kavi Bhudardas ji in Vairagya Bhavna. Third one was Acharya Kunkund Dev from Samaisar. Then fourth one was Yogindu Dev from Yogsar. Fifth one was Acharya Pujyapat Swami from Samadhi Satak. Sixth one was Acharya Kunkund again from Pravachan Sarji. And seventh one was also Acharya Kunkund Dev from Ashtapahud Bhavpahud. So the eighth one was Natak Samaisar by Pandit Banarsi Das ji. So Aditi ji, we have two Aditi jis are here. So it would be better if you write your full name, so I can make out. Okay, so I made you a co-host. Now you can share the textbook. So the eighth one was from Natak Samaisar by Pandit Banarsi Das ji. So that we were discussing, there was a dialogue between a student and a teacher, and student was putting forth his arguments and teacher was answering those queries. And we were here up to page 20 where the first paragraph ends, and now verse number 12, okay, from Natak Samaisar, we are going to start from there. Here in this, the student who believes in compromise, okay. So compromise means who is not very adamant, you know. That kind of student was this student, and then he asked his teacher to accept the view that merits are pure and demerits impure. So both are impure. How can merit be pure? Okay. So then teacher answers. So we will read this, and then there is the next one coming up is the ninth one from Moksh Marg Prakashak. And then there will be a conclusion and this chapter will end. So first I would like somebody to read from. So Darshit ji, you read from this. Hearing this, the student who believes, page number 20 from the starting. Take it
Jai
slightly,
Jinendra.
yeah, take it slightly down, Aditi ji. Page number 20, beginning, from the beginning. 2020, not this one, previous one. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. So from here, hearing this, the student.
Hearing this, the student who believes in compromise asks his teacher to accept the view that merits are pure and demerits impure. The teacher, explaining the whole thing, asserts as below: as long as there are merit and demerit manifestations, one has variability in mind, body, and speech, as also in operative consciousness of both the types, that is, sentience and perception. One cannot experience the pure soul as long as there is no stability in mind, body, speech, and operative consciousness. Sorry, I don't have the book today with me. Could we raise the page, please? Sorry, Aditi ji, if you can just move the page for me, please.
Yeah.
There, thank you. Therefore, both merit and demerit manifestations are like scissors to cut short the path to liberation. Both are instrumental to bondage and therefore undesirable. I have spoken against both, knowing them as obstructions in the path of soul's emancipation. Thus, Pandit Banaras Das has expressed his thoughts in accordance with the scriptures. Pandit Todarmalji writes in the same context: the person with wrong faith regards influxes of violence, etc., as undesirable, and the merit influxes of non-violence and others as desirable. Both attract bondage of the karmas. To regard them as desirable is perversion of faith. Likewise, he regards truth, etc., as causes of merit bondage, and untruth, etc., as causes of demerit bondage. All those, however, are false faiths and so to be abandoned. Therefore, non-violence, etc., are also undesirable, being causes of bondage only. Only that stage where one remains a sentient seer with full detachment is the desirable state. Till such a state has been achieved, indulge in sorry, the page. Yeah, thank you.
Indulge in merits, right? All right. But have faith.
Sorry, I'm a bit lost now where we are.
But till such state has been achieved. Ah,
Yeah, sorry. Till such a state has been achieved, indulge in merits all right, but have faith that this is instrumental to bondage only, and as such undesirable. If this is regarded as path to liberation, the perverted faith persists as ever. Thus we see that though merits are better than demerits from the worldly point of view, and keeping this aspect of the state, the scriptures have recognized these as conventional religion. Yet in the path of liberation, their position is negative only. The joy out of the pleasures of senses consequent of merit is the root cause of regarding merit as beneficial. As long as pleasures of senses are regarded as giving happiness, the desirability of merits cannot be lost sight of. Without touching the sentient soul, the feelings of happiness in the pleasures of senses cannot disappear. The pure manifestation is the experience of the sentient pure soul, which is absolutely without merits and demerits. Those who want to taste real happiness of the soul, therefore, should always attempt to acquire the pure manifestation of the spiritual experience.
So the last one, the teacher gives the explanation that as long as merits and demerits manifestation, one has variability in mind. Okay, variability in mind, body, and speech, and this is called chanchalta. Variability means chanchalta. It is not, I would say, it is not stable, you know. So one has variability in mind, body, and speech, as also in operative consciousness of both the types. That is sentience, which is knowledge, and perception, which is darshan. One cannot experience the pure soul as long as there is no stability in mind, body, speech, and operative consciousness. So if there is not, if there is no stability, and if there is a variability, then one cannot experience the soul. But when there is a stability of mind, body, and speech, and operative consciousness, then pure soul can be experienced. Therefore, both merit and demerit manifestations are like scissors to cut short the path of liberation. That means merit and demerit manifestations are causing hindrances in the path of liberation. Both are instrumental to bondage and therefore undesirable. I have spoken against both, knowing them as obstructions in the path of soul's emancipation. Thus, Pandit Banarasi has expressed his thoughts in accordance with the scriptures. So, what we had seen in some other scriptures, the same idea or the same conclusion Pandit Banarasi Das ji has talked about in Natak Samay Sar. So far we have done 8 references. Now we are moving on to the 9th one, which is by Pandit Todarmal ji, and this is taken from Moksha Marg Prakashak, 7th chapter, page number 226, and this is errors regarding influx. So we have seen errors in the 7 fundamentals. Out of this is errors regarding influx. What he says here, the persons with wrong faith, okay, regards influxes of violence, etc. as undesirable, and merit influxes of non-violence and others as desirable. So, पुण्य को भला and पाप को बुरा मानता है, but both attract bondage of the karmas. So, if they both attract the bondage of karmas, then how we can say that merits are good and demerits are bad? How we can say that? Both are bad, because both are binding karmas. To regard them as desirable, desirable means upade, is perversion of faith. It's a wrong faith. Likewise, he regards truth, etc. as causes of merit bondage, and untruth, etc. as cause of demerit bondage. All those, however, are false faith and so to be abandoned. Therefore, non-violence, etc. are also undesirable. Non-violence in the sense like all the kind of auspicious sentiments like donation, non-violence, truthfulness. So all these are uh, causing bondages, and so they are undesirable. Only that stage where one remains a sentient seer. Sentient seer. Sentient seer means sentient gyata drashta. Sentient is knowledge and seer is drashta. Okay? Or darshan. Only that stage where one remains a sentient seer with full detachment is the desirable state. So when you are true to your nature is to just know and see. And if you remain a knower and seer, then this is what is desirable state. Till such a state has been achieved, indulge in merits all right. So what Pandit Todamal is telling, that still you achieve that passionless state, you can try and be in the auspicious stage, because if you go to inauspicious stage, then you will bind intense karmas and you may land up in hell or in subhuman state. Okay, so till such state has been achieved, indulge in merits all right, but don't consider that to be religion. Okay, consider that to be an instrumental to bondage, and as such it is undesirable. If this is regarded as path to liberation, the perverted faith persists as ever. So we should indulge in auspicious sentiments, but we should not consider it as religion. This is what Pandit Todamalji wants to convey here. So this is the error regarding influx element. Okay. So what is that error? That both merits and demerits binds karma, but the soul thinks merit to be beneficial and demerits to be harmful. That is the mistake regarding errors influx. Now moving on to the next paragraph. Thus we see that though merits are better than demerits from the worldly point of view, and keeping this aspect of the state, the scriptures have recognized these as conventional religion. So scriptures have recognized these merits as conventional religion, yet in the path of liberation, their position is negative only. So one viewpoint is from the path of liberation, where it is negative, and other viewpoint is from the conventional point of view. Okay. So from the conventional point of view, it is considered as religion. But from the real point of view, it is considered as a means for bondage, and so it should be renounced. Now the last paragraph, the conclusion. The joy out of the pleasures of senses consequent of merit is the root cause of regarding merit as beneficial. So long the soul believes that the sensory objects will bring pleasure to him, he will indulge in this kind of meritorial activities and he will consider them as beneficial. As long as pleasures of senses are regarded as giving happiness, the desirability of merits cannot be lost sight of. Without touching the sentient soul, The feelings of happiness in the pleasures of senses cannot disappear. Okay. So the path of liberation is the unity of right faith, right knowledge, and right conduct. Okay. And the sentient of merits and demerits both are hindrances to the path of liberation. Okay. So they cannot be considered as pure manifestation. The pure manifestation is the experience of the sentient pure soul, which is absolutely without merits and demerits. Those who want to taste real happiness of the soul, therefore, should always attempt to acquire the pure manifestation of the spiritual experience. So that is the end of this chapter. Now, as I said yesterday, we need to discuss some other things on merits and demerits, and that we are going to discuss so that we have a complete picture of merits and demerits. Here only one aspect was covered in this whole chapter, and that was both are equal in the path of liberation. Both binds karmas and both are, so they both are equal. Okay. So this is the conclusion of this chapter. But then there are other points on merits and demerits which we should know so as to have a realistic view of merits and demerits. So what are those points? I'll just discuss. The first one is the definition of merits and demerits. So the first definition is that if the passion is intense, it is called demerits. If the passion is not intense, it is mild, then it is called merit. Okay. So when a virtuous disposition rises in the soul's manifestation, then the passion gets less. It gets mild from intense. And when there is a activity of sins, then the passions also increases and the passions becomes intense. So from the point of view of bondage of karmas, intense passions lead to sinful bondage. Okay, intense lesson leads to sinful bondage, and mild passion leads to auspicious bondage. This definition states that both virtues and sins, merits and demerits, are just fluctuating levels of passion. So far we were discussing that both are equal. Now we are saying that both virtues and sins are just fluctuating levels of passions. One is a mild passion, other one is an intense passion, but both are passions. Okay. Now I'll ask you something. If a householder takes the initiative to build up a temple, now tell me whether this is a act of virtues or it is an act of sin. Tell me, Jinali ji, what it is? It is merit or demerit? Tell me.
So please can you repeat once?
If a householder takes initiative to build a temple, okay, so you would consider this as merit or demerit?
Sir, it is a merit, but which is not where you don't have to be attached to your deed.
Okay. Now, if that same temple is, that initiative is taken by a monk.
Okay.
So now it is merit or demerit?
No, it is merit only.
It is merit only.
Who says merit? One, Jinalji is telling merit. Then who else is saying merit?
So I'm saying it's merit, Jaini.
Okay, Jainiji, right?
Demerit.
Now tell me, there a householder has 6 activities of daily routine: Dev Puja, Guru Upasana, Swadhyay, Sanyam, Tap, Dan. So that is householders' essential activities. And you know what is the essential activity of a monk? They don't have Dev Puja as essential activity. They have got Praischit, Stuti, Vandana, all these. So a monk should not indulge in such activities. If he indulges in this kind of activity, that means there is an intense passion running in him right now. If a householder does it, it is good for him, because for him this is a milder passion. But if a monk gets involved in such activity, then it is not good for him, because in that stage he should not take initiative any construction activities. Okay, the primary function of a monk is to concentrate in himself. Okay, and
But sir, there are
uh,
so many Marasab who do this.
so they are not doing the correct thing, no? That is what we should know. The purpose of studying the scriptures is that we should know the correct meaning of each interpretation. So if a Maharaj Sahib is doing, that does not mean that it's a true activity. If that Maharaj Sahib is ignorant, he may be doing it. Okay. But if he's a true Digambar monk, then he will not indulge. Okay. You had read that story of Raksha Bandhan? So in that, Vishnu Kumar Muniraj saves the life of 700 fellow monks. Okay. But still, that was considered as not good, because to save a Muniraj should not be an activity of a monk. If a householder does it, is okay. That should be the activity of a householder. But being a monk, his primary function was to concentrate in self and not to indulge in this kind of activities. But since he got involved in this kind of activities and really saved the lives of 700 monks, okay? So from that perspective, there was appreciation of Vishnu Kumar Muniraj.
Sir, 1 minute. Can I say that Vishnu Kumar Muniraj is used is that Riddhi.
Yeah.
That is the thing. Is fine for they cannot use that Riddhi. So
that,
yes,
that is also
yes,
there,
given up
and that kind of intense passion to save other Muniraj, that is also not according to that 6th and 7th stage. Okay, so his stage must have fallen, and that's why he got those kind of sentiments, and then he did all those activities. So from the point of view of Sadharmik Vatsalya, okay, welfare of the fellow beings, that is a good example. But from the point of view of living high level of activity and getting indulged in low level of activity is not justified for a monk. So then the Acharya Akampanacharya gave him a punishment for that. Okay. So now tell me, if a householder is building up a temple, for him it is good. It's an auspicious activity for him. But if a monk starts building a temple, it is not an auspicious activity for him. It is an inauspicious activity. So what we are coming to the conclusion is that one particular activity can be auspicious to some and can be inauspicious to some. So the activity in itself is not auspicious or inauspicious. Okay, it is the just what would say working of the universe independently. The universe is performing independently. There are 6 types of substances in it who all are independent of one another, and everything is happening on an automation mode. Nobody is doing anything. So the building of the temple, okay, that is all being done automatically. Okay, so for a householder, it's an auspicious activity, but for a monk, the same activity is considered as inauspicious. So this is one point that should be noted, that from the point of view of bondage, okay, the same activity can be a auspicious one from some angle, and it can be inauspicious from somebody else angle. Okay, so that activity itself is not auspicious or inauspicious. A person was going for morning walk every day, and after listening to some religious discourse, he started going to the temple instead of walking. Okay, so maybe 3 days a week. So from intense attachment, he was previously not going to the temple at all. Okay, and now he is going thrice a week to the temple. Okay, so from that point of view, earlier it was intense attachment. Okay, earlier it was intense attachment towards his body because he was taking care of his body and he was not going to the temple. And now he's exhibiting milder passions because he is going to the temple. Hence, from inauspicious bondage, he will bind auspicious bondage. Okay. Another example.
I have a small confusion, sir.
Yeah.
You can say a small question kind of a thing.
Hmm.
We say the soul is, all knowing, Gyata Dashta. It just knows.
Right.
So, why is it that we are believing that we are doing something good or bad? Why is it that we cannot assume that we are not doing anything at all?
So there are four types of
Right?
exposition. Okay.
Okay.
So there are 4 types of exposition. You know, Prathman Yog, Charnan Yog, Karnan Yog, and Dravyan Yog. Okay.
Right.
So the statement that you are saying, that is true from Dravyan Yog. But what we are talking now is from Charnan Yog, right? What should be the conduct of a householder? What should be a conduct of a monk? This is the topic of discussion from the Charnan Yoga exposition. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So 2 different things, and both have different types of interpretation. So that's why the other day we studied this chapter of 4 Anuyog in very detail. And I told you to apply all the 4 Anuyogs in one particular activity, and then you can have a balance, proper balance. Yeah, somebody was asking something?
But sir, this can be considered by a householder also, right, sir?
Which one?
That I am not doing anything.
That though anybody can do.
Yeah.
Householder also can think that way, and a monk also can think that way. But that is not what we are discussing now. We are discussing from the Charnan Yoga point of view, what a householder should do and what a monk should do. Okay, everything has been enumerated in a Charnan Yoga. What would be the activity of a householder and what would be the activity of a monk? Okay.
Got it, sir.
So the same activity of building up of temple, for one it is a mild passion, for the other is a intense passion. So the activity in itself, it is not mild or intense passion, but depends on who is doing it from that perspective. Now, a person who is in a lower stage of spiritual development, for him, going to the temple in the morning, doing puja, prakshal, okay, and that is all recommended, okay. But now if he becomes a monk, then that is not recommended, okay. That is not compulsory for a monk. So again we come to that conclusion that from the viewpoint of bondage, from the point of view of bondage, intense passion is demerit and mild passion is merit. So this is one definition.
So the best way would be to take this as everything, you take it as the neutrality, the situation of neutrality would be the best option in this. You don't
Uh,
you
yeah,
don't think
so that
anything good as
so
a normal householder. You don't think which is something which is very good, and you don't think something which is very bad. You
no,
just
as a normal householder, this is something you should do. Because if you don't do this activity, then definitely your thought will go into some other activities, okay? And that may not be auspicious, that might be inauspicious. So just because a householder is into business and the whole day he is busy, in making profit and handling the business activities, so he doesn't have time to think about all these things. So for him, getting a temple near his house is a good activity, and that is the primary function of a householder. Since he is earning, then he should donate. But the monk is not earning, okay?
got it.
So the monk, it is not a good activity for a monk, okay? So
Right.
primary function of monk is to focus in itself. That should be the primary function. So if he is leaving that function and doing some low level of activities, then it is not appreciated. Simple. Okay. So this was one angle. Now we want to discuss few more points. The second one is from the point of view of rise of karmas. Okay. If there is an auspicious karmas rise, the definition of merits would be that whatever we desire, we get. Okay. If there is a auspicious karma, if there is a rise of auspicious karma, what we desire, that we get. And if it is an inauspicious karma, if there is a rise of inauspicious karma, then our desires will not be fulfilled. Okay. Now, if you are longing for a car, okay, so to get the car, you should have in stock auspicious karmas, okay. But if you don't have auspicious karma in the stock, then you will not get that car, because all activities which happens according to our desire are called auspicious activities. And all activities which go against us are all inauspicious activities. Okay. So this is from the point of view from the rise of karmas. Now, I will give you one example. There was a blind person. Okay. And he was very religious minded, and he used to go to the temple every day. So once he went to the temple and he was chanting that mala. You know mala? I'm not able to recall the English name for the mala. For a golden chain, we call it necklace. But for a mala, for chanting, mantras, what we call that?
Sir, sacred beads, sir, beads.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Sacred bead, okay. So he was standing before the god, statue of God, and he was chanting that with sacred bead. Now that sacred bead dropped from his hand and all the motis got scattered, Now, tell me, this is an rise of auspicious karma or inauspicious karma for that blind person? Tell me.
Auspicious karma.
Auspicious karma.
Okay. Anybody else who differ from this opinion?
Sir, I feel because he could not do forward, he is a blind and the mala is broken, he may be felt distracted. So that time, I think the rise of inauspicious karma only. Even though his intention is
even
to do that,
right.
to do
I believe it is
the
inauspicious, sir.
inauspicious rise of
Okay,
inauspicious
okay.
karma.
So most people have said inauspicious and few have said auspicious also. Now he was a blind person from his birth, okay? And he was, as the mala got broken, he got down and he was collecting those motis. While collecting, since he was a blind, his eyes got in touch, his eyes hit something from that Vedi of God, and the blood started flowing from his eyes. And what happened, all the bad blood that was accumulated in his eyes, that came out and he started seeing. Now tell me that the breaking of that mala is an auspicious activity or inauspicious activity? Now you tell me.
Auspicious.
So you see, initially we were believing that it is an inauspicious activity because he has lost his mala, okay? But now, just because he was a blind and now he can see, so that same activity is now considered as auspicious for him, okay? So this is one example. And a person built a house for himself and he spent quite a good amount of money, okay? And he was staying in that building and suddenly there was an earthquake, okay? And he came out of the building, but that building got destroyed, okay? It went down. Now, this activity is, what would we consider? Rise of auspicious karma or inauspicious karma?
Both, sir.
Both. No, his life was saved, but the building was destroyed.
The building got destroyed, so that was inauspicious karma, and then he got saved. Since he got out, was auspicious karma.
Okay. Now, we are consider only that building part, okay? The building. We are not considering that he was saved, okay? So now if we are considering that building that has destroyed, so obviously it's an inauspicious rise of inauspicious karma, that he had taken so much effort to build that building and he spent so much money after it. So now what is to be done? That building has to be reconstructed. And to reconstruct that building, they were just digging up the plinth. And he got wealth which somebody else had put there, and that wealth was worth 100 crores. Now tell me that the earthquake was a auspicious karma for him or an inauspicious karma? The earthquake and the subsequent
The situation changed, so now it's become auspicious, sir.
So my question is that any activity is not auspicious or inauspicious, it depends on how you take it up. Okay. So, from the point of view of rise of karmas, not a single karma is auspicious or inauspicious. It depends on what result it is bringing. Then we can consider it as auspicious or inauspicious. So, by two examples, we have seen that initially it was looking as inauspicious, but subsequently it turned out to be auspicious. Okay. So, whether it is a rise of auspicious karma or inauspicious karma, it is a very relative term. Okay. So, you cannot say that merits are always good and demerits are always bad. Okay. This is a relative term. Okay. The same incident will give happiness to one and will cause sorrow to another. Okay. Now take this example of falling of rain. Okay. So the one is a farmer and the other is a potter. Okay. Now tell me, the falling of rain, okay, it's a good thing for both, or it is good for one and bad for another?
It is good for the farmer and bad for the potter.
Okay. So same activity, but for one it is a auspicious activity, for another it is an inauspicious activity. So we must understand that auspicious and inauspicious, or virtues or sins, merits or demerits, are all relative term. You cannot consider an activity absolutely auspicious or absolutely inauspicious. Now, one more point. We are coming to that third, another point. The first one, we said that both binds karma, merits and demerits both binds karma, so both are equal. The primary logic in that was that there are two types of karmas, ghati karma and aghati karma. Ghati karma is called obscuring karmas, and aghati karma is non-obscuring karmas. Okay. So this you know from the karma chapter. Now, in ghati karma, obscuring karmas, there is no divisions of merits and demerits. Okay. It is only in aghati karma or non-obscuring karma that we have merits and demerits. As you know that Vedniya karma, there is Sata Vedniya and Asata Vedniya. So Sata Vedniya is auspicious and Asata Vedniya is inauspicious. Ayu, Nam. Nam also have got both. Some are auspicious and some are inauspicious. Gotra is also both. Uch Gotra is auspicious, Nich Gotra is inauspicious. And Ayu karma also, Manusha and Dev are auspicious, considered as auspicious, and hellish, hell and subhuman state are considered as inauspicious. So, the division of auspicious and inauspicious falls under non-obscuring karmas only. But as far as obscuring karma is concerned, it is all demerits only. Okay. So, merit karma also binds. It does not liberate you. Okay. So, it also binds and demerits also binds. Both are creating bondage. So, that's why both are equal. So, this was the logic from Karnan Yoga, that there is no division of merits and demerits in obscuring karmas. It is all demerits only. Only in non-obscuring karmas, there is a division of merits and demerits. So if you are manifesting auspicious sentiment, then also you are binding karmas. And if you are manifesting inauspicious karma, then also you are binding karmas. Okay. So that was one logic. Now, we are coming to a new point that all the merits that we accumulate, okay, have an expiry date. Okay. So that maximum years is 2000 sagars. And if we are not able to consume that merits, okay, then it automatically gets converted to demerits. That means auspicious sentiments has a expiry date, whereas inauspicious karma or the sins which leads us to nigod state, that doesn't have a expiry date. So if you indulge in any of the sinful activity, remember, you will always have to suffer. You cannot go scot-free. But in case of auspicious bondage, there is an expiry. Okay.
So what is the expiry time, sir?
2000 sagars. It's a very long period. And whatever virtues remain at that point of time, that all gets converted to sins. Okay.
So in case if I'm doing something good now, and if I'm not getting it, I'm not utilizing that good thing in the future. So that again gets converted to bad karmas.
Yeah, so that is not in your hand. It all happens automatically. But what we are now considering is that it has got an expiry date. Virtues have got an expiry date, whereas sins doesn't have expiry date. So you anyways, whatever sinful activity you indulge in.
Sir, that conversion, I also got a doubt, sir. After 2000 sagrogams, you have to go to that out of this thread. But punya is converting into pap after 2000.
You are leading to a one sense nigod state, you know.
Oh, but yeah, so that punya maybe got exhausted. That maybe I feel instead of conversion.
So the takeaway from this is that you don't run behind the accumulation of merits, and you must experience the pure soul. Okay, so you should not spend your time only indulging in auspicious activities. Now the last point, we are also coming to end of our class timing also. The last point. So now we have three kinds of activities. One is auspicious, another one is inauspicious, and the third one is the pure manifestation. So the pure manifestation is religion. It is called Shuddhopyog. Auspicious sentiment is called Shubh Upyog, and inauspicious is called Ashubh Upyog. Okay. So if you are not going into Shuddhopyog, and if you leave auspicious activities, then you will end up in inauspicious state, and that will take you to Narak and Nigod. So it is always good to be in auspicious activity. That's why Todarmal ji also said कि जब तक ऐसी दशा ना हो, प्रशस्त राग रूप प्रवर्तन करो. So long you don't achieve that pureness, complete pureness, you get indulged in auspicious activities. Okay, because If you indulge in inauspicious activity, you will bind more karmas, okay, intense karmas. And if you indulge in auspicious activities, you will bind mild karmas. This is one point. The other point is that pap or the sins are considered worth renouncing. Atyant hai, okay, worth renouncing. But for punya or the merits or the virtues, it is kathanchit he, kathanchit upade. Okay. So from one perspective, it is worth renouncing, and from the other perspective, it is worth indulging in. It is worth manifesting. Now, when it is worth manifesting and when it is worth renouncing, you tell me. Now we are talking of only merits. So merit has got two viewpoints. One, it is worth renouncing, and one, it is worth manifesting. So what is the logic behind both this? Can anyone answer?
When we get into Shuddha Kriya,
Right.
it is good to renounce.
Oh, very good. And the next?
Yeah, that's it.
When it is worth indulging in.
When you are doing Ashubh Kriya,
So when
you
you are
should
falling and you are getting involved in sinful activities, at that point of time, virtues activities are
better.
Okay. So now this is the correct understanding. Now coming to the last and final decision. Now tell me whether merit is good or bad. What do your final say? We have had all types of discussion. What we had in chapter there, it mentions that it is equal in the
Merit
path
is bad,
of
sir.
liberation. But apart from that, there are other aspects of auspicious and inauspicious things. And we should consider everything, and we should not absolutely think that, oh, merits is hindrances in the path of liberation and it is equal to demerits. So let's involve in demerits. What difference does it make? Because both are creating a bondage, but it is not like that. Okay. You have to understand each and everything from different perspective and then opt for what is best to you at that point of time. The idea is to create a balance. So if you are heavy into inauspicious activities, then at that point of time, getting involved in auspicious activity is good for you. And when you want to go to Shuddhopyog, then you should renounce auspicious activities also. Okay. So it is never directly from inauspicious to pure. It is always inauspicious to auspicious, and from auspicious you can move to pure. Okay. So for every enlightened soul, these activities, auspicious activities, do come into their life on their own, but they don't consider it to be religion. Okay. They know this is again cause of bondage, and they try to get into pure manifestation. But because of their weakness, they don't have a choice. They have to willfully indulge in auspicious activity to save from getting into inauspicious activities. That is the final thing. Hope you have understood a bit from the examples and all. And that is all right now. I don't know if, no, I don't think we will discuss this again, but this has got wide applications. And the last part, so a thing in itself is not auspicious or inauspicious for anybody. It depends on how you take it. Okay. So if you are putting it into good use, okay, then for you it is auspicious activity. If you are putting it to bad use, then it is an inauspicious activities for you. So the activity in itself is not auspicious or inauspicious. Activity is activity. Activity is a manifestation of 6 substances. Okay, it is all happening independently of one another, and there is nothing called good thing and bad thing in this universe. All things are things only. Now, if you are able to use it for your own benefit, it is auspicious for you. If you are using it for your destruction or harmful effect, then it is inauspicious for you. Supposing you have a shop, and during peak seasons like Diwali and all, there is a lot of sale, a lot of customers coming to your shop. So what you do, you open the shop early in the morning at 8 o'clock, and you keep the shop open up to 10 o'clock in the evening, to get those customers and to make more profit. Okay. And otherwise, as a routine, you used to open the shop at 10 o'clock. So you used to go to the mandir in the morning, have abhishek, and then do some swadhyay, and then come back home and have your breakfast, and then you used to go to the shop. So now tell me, the same activity, now you are gaining in profit, but that businessman will think that my now auspicious time is going on. But the same activity, if a monk sees it, he will think that it's a pap, it's an activity, a sinful activity for that businessman. Because earlier we was able to go to temple, do puja, do swadhyay, and now because of this rush in business activity, although he's making more money, but from the perspective of that monk, that is a inauspicious rise of karma for that businessman. So, so it depends how you take it. If you are able to do it for your own benefit, then it is an auspicious activities for you. And if you are going far away from Dev Guru Shastra, it is an inauspicious activities for you. So these both terms are very relative, and the enlightened souls understands its nature in a true manner, and they leave both these activities, auspicious and inauspicious activities, and they try to focus and manifest pure sentiment. And that is the religion, and that is the path of liberation. And we should also do same. Okay, so this chapter is over. Now next week we will doing another good chapter, and that is about the self-realization, Atmanubhuti. I think it is chapter number 5, because this we have already done, substantive and instrumental causes. And now we'll be doing chapter 5, the experience of the soul and investigation of the elements. So the Hindi name is Atmanubhuti or Tattva Vichar. So the experience of the soul is correct, but investigation of elements is not correct. Tattva Vichar means thinking on fundamental elements. That is Tattva Vichars. Okay. Anyway, whatever they have written is written. One request is there, that if anybody of you can spare time and help in translation of books, maybe one chapter a week also, if you do half an hour, 1 hour daily, you can finish one chapter in week. Then also it will be good. We need to expand our translation team. because the work is not going very fast also, and there are a lot of mistakes also. So you will be given a training, proper training. So if any of you can spare some time, then it will be good for us, because this flow of language is not good of our textbook. And because of that, like we are not getting, the right kind of bhavbasan, what is called, the right kind of understanding. Okay. So if we are able to do it, then it is nice. But if it is not being done, then whatever we have, that all we have to manage with. So this is maybe, if you are interested, then you let me know, because I will be giving you topics that which are coming in the next semester. Okay. So it will be a teaching or learning for you also, not only translation, but at the same time you will be reading that chapter again and again and understanding. So it will be a good exercise for you. So whoever is interested, just let me know. We are expanding that team and we are getting new people on board. But only thing is that you should have, now you have done 2 semesters, so your knowledge is quite okay for those translation. Because we have some people who are translating, but they don't have very deep knowledge. So sometimes they also they are not able to make out the exact meaning, what is being said. So that problem is there. So we need some good professional translator who are knowledgeable also.
Yeah, sir, that for me, that we are having difficulty of reading that Hindi. We know that, we know the substance. I can.
So you can team up. You can team up with somebody else who knows Hindi also. So
yeah, those who can do I know little, because if I will take.
So you help out in the English words, and he
English
or she will help out in the.
Hindi also no, but I'll read very slowly.
So that is why I'm saying, even if you do one chapter in 10 days, 15 days, it's okay, no? There is
somebody is doing with the Hindi, and I can combine with the English. We can do it.
So I will put your name, and I will give you a companion also, so both of you can do it together.
Yeah, I can try, because I know I'm having little this one. I can do it in
Good.
that. I feel.
Yeah.
But that language flow, if I read fast, no, I can read. It will take time for me, because slow
no
read.
problem. See, timing is not a problem.
Hindi.
Yeah,
Hindi, that's fluency.
So the other fellow will help you. Okay. No problem.
I said I'll try, sir, in that way, if possible.
Anyone else? Because we are having a meeting with Swanubhuti ji tomorrow, and we need to do something on this front, because the translation is going on for long. But
so what are you translating right now, sir? What?
So now we were doing Tattvagyan 1 and 2, okay, and now we will do other books also, which are going to come in the next semester, like Chedala is there in English. Those books which are not in English, or which are not in good English, that we always try to do first, So what papers we have in next sem, I will just tell you.
Sir, thank you very much. Can I leave with your
Yeah, you can leave.
Thank you.
Those who want to leave can leave, because our time is over. So for the 3rd semester, we have Moksha Marg Prakashak. English translation is there. Ram Kahani is almost complete. Chedala is there. So now Bara Bhavna, I think Bara Bhavna is left, and Dravya Sangra. Dravya Sangra is also available. So I will just check with Bara Bhavna. Otherwise, we can go ahead and do other topics which are in the 4th sem, or something like this. Tattvagyan 2 also we can do it. Some of the chapters are still left, and some are to be corrected. Okay. So even if you are not translating, if you are helping in correction also, then also it is good. We need people who can review it.
Sir, I have a small information for you.
Uh,
So we have an organization called Om Aram.
okay,
So this organization is started by my brother, me, and there's one more Gyani Purush.
okay,
Basically, this is started in Switzerland.
uh-huh,
The organization is registered in Switzerland,
okay,
and basically the whole point is to impart Jainism to the European society.
okay,
Yes. So we have this Guruji,
mm-hmm,
and he's super learned with our uh,
okay,
texts.
okay,
So previously he was a Christian, uh,
uh,
but he had come to India in the early 80s,
okay,
and he got interested with Jainism, and he adopted Jainism as his
okay,
he learned all the types of agams and everything, and he's very proficient with the translation and everything.
mm-hmm,
So he has also converted a lot of agams and everything on English basically.
okay, okay,
So he's got a very good substantial knowledge about Jainism, and he has
uh-huh.
done a lot of translations also.
Oh, very good.
Yes, yes, yes.
So he'll be helping us?
If you want, I can have a word with him.
Yeah, definitely, definitely we would like to meet him, and
And
if he's helping us in any way, uh, we'll be very grateful for that,
yes, because he's a very learned soul, and he has
Yeah,
done a beautiful work in terms of in Jainism basically.
and whoever else is also interested, you just check, everybody check. If you could come across any people who have time and who is interested in translating,
Sure, sir.
then get me across the names, okay?
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. I'll
Okay.
have a word with the Guruji, and I'll get
Yeah,
back.
yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yes, yes, yes. We'll try to work something out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good, good.
Yeah. Sure.
निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है। 9 बार नौकर मंत्र गिनेंगे। जय जिनेन्द्र।
Yes.